In the Tesla, it doesn't have like standard ODB2 ports. It's like diagnostic connectors. And this is a 26-pin connector in the back of the center console here. So that's good. That's how this device ultimately begins to get communication. Now, I'm told I can just pull this bad boy off. I hate... This is my wife's car, and she would... Oh, look, it does come off easily. Okay. All right. Easy. Easy. I'm shocked. All right. So this comes off. You just pull it. And I'm going to have to take this bottom piece off as well. Since this isn't like a main power jaw, like, I don't really know how to cut the power off completely on a Tesla, but I can't imagine this is going to cause an issue given it's a diagnostics port. So, presumably the car would be on when you're using it anyways. So that came off pretty easy. You're going to want to use this little bypass here because all this is doing is providing power to the USB ports here. So I'm going to go ahead and you take this back tab here and lift it up. And then you can just pull that plug right out. And then you're going to want to put the bypass on, which is basically just not using any power. So now we are safe that that's not going to draw any current or do anything crazy. I believe the next step is I think I'm going to have to remove this. Okay, so next, hopefully you can see this okay. This is the very lower level of the box. And I'm going to want to pry this right off. It's just connected with some pins, as I understand it. So, you get your pry bar in there, and these things will just pop out. There it goes. Okay, so you can see it's just these metal clasps that go in here, that it just presses back in. When you put it in, it just pops in. So kind of the standard automotive. And it looks like this whole piece needs to come out. This is the diagnostics port I was looking for, so that's good. So it's actually pretty easy if you're working on the car because you just pop that plastic off. But it looks like these are some Torx bits here that need to come out to get this off, because I'm going to have to run my cable from here through this for the screen. 15, and I love this little new tool, man. I'm actually probably going to go buy another one. Now, I could probably make this a lot faster if I used a little screw gun or something on this, but I'm always paranoid about these going into plastic and breaking stuff and then turning it into a big headache. So they're pretty small. 2 T15s. It looks like holding that plastic trim on. And you only have to take this off so you can route the cable that you're plugging in. Goes off. I assume this is just gonna pop out. Yep, just pops out. I can actually get away just by doing it like that. Yeah, I'm not gonna even take the other side out. That will be enough just to run the cable in. I don't have to dilly-dally with that. I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So I'm gonna wanna take this diagnostics port cable. It's gonna undo from this side. It should just pull out here. Oh, I gotta push that blue. You gotta push the blue tab down. And then you're gonna want to take your new cable here and plug this side into the only side it will go into, like so. You can hear it click. And then you're gonna plug this into the port. So now it's like in the system, right? So this little communication box and all of this cable can do its thing. And then this is going to allow you to draw power to the screen. So I just basically bridge the two. And then this is the cable that you're going to want to run up in here, because this is what's going to go up to the main device. So you can see how I just ran that up in there. And then I have this. I have this now up here for the actual screen. So I can technically at this point pop this bottom piece right back in, as I just did, and I can put these screws right back in now as well. And then this piece would just kind of sit like that, because I believe there's plenty of space in this. So I can put this cable back in, and I think that would just shove up just like so. I'm gonna actually tuck it into this little nook right here a little bit. And then you just pop this back on. Just like so. So all that's all hidden now. And perfect. All right. All right. So we now have the screen, and that's exactly where the screen's going to go. We have our bypass, which can just stay right there. We have all this extra stuff, which we just tuck up under the duct for the AC, and we can basically plug these in now. And it's going to be 2 distinct cables that can only plug in one way. So now you can take the screen, I'm going to lay it on the ground here, and you only have these 2 cables here, cable 1 and cable 2. This is the cable we just ran, and the cables will only meet, and match up a specific way. So I can plug one cable in, and then I can go and I can plug my other cable in right here. As soon as I did that, the device powered up, because it now has power. So it's going to be easy to test, because as soon as you plug it in, you can start controlling your air vents and everything, including like the fan speed. The screen's a little bit weird because I have the protective cover on. I want to keep that on. But you can see I've just increased it. I'll take this cover off when I'm done. And we can go to child lock. I don't know what that means. I got nervous there. I was excited to test the child lock feature. And it basically prohibits anything from happening. The default password is 8687. For a second, I was like, oh my God, I don't know what the password is. I'm sure we can change that, which we will do. So instead of fiddling with this anymore, I want to go ahead and just get this placed. I'm going to take a lot of this. Well, you can't put in the excess there. You have room at the bottom here where you can tuck a lot of these extra cables. So that's exactly what I'm going to do, is just tuck them under that ductwork, because there's plenty of space in there. Just to keep them out of the way. I'm going to route them kind of up underneath of the ductwork. Actually, up under is how you want to do it, so you don't block the vent at all. And this should just, I'm going to enable that child lock again so I don't mess with it as I'm doing it. But I should just be able to pop this into these clasp. Oh. Keep that child lock open. I'm just trying to make sure I have it completely lined up with the things it needs to pop into. So you got to be a bit patient when you put this in. I kind of got on my side and just made sure there was nothing here blocking it. And you'll hear it click in when it goes in. And it's basically, at this point, installed. So like I say, you want to line it up. Push here. I would recommend turning on the child lock when you start clasping this in, because remember, it's powered up. So if you start touching the screen, it would do things, and the default password is 8687 for child lock. And when it's in, I mean, you could no doubt rip this off easier than the other one came off, but it should not be coming off at this point. And I'm going to turn the child lock off. Oops, 8687 is the default child lock. And crank up. And, you know, the air is coming out perfectly of these vents. That's really important, right? You don't want to make, you know, you want to make sure it's hooked and clasped the way it needs to be. So let's test out some functionality. So let's test out some functionality and see how this works. We're going to remove the screen protector. There we go. And let's see what all we can do here, huh? Oh, it looks like there's like 2 screen protectors or something. There's like another one on here. Boom. That's the screen protector. So let's see. Vehicle left and right. Left rudder, temperature Fahrenheit, 12-hour clock, time zone setting. Not sure what West 5th District is. So East Coast, I'm evidently West 5th District maybe? I'm West 5th District. That's East Coast here in Maryland. Okie dokie. So, let's look at some more settings here and see what all we can do. So that shows you all the windows you have open. Fair enough. Click home. I can click this guy and see all the different apps. What I'm really more interested in is the, and you can do Android Auto, so you can connect your phone to it for Android Auto. And then, of course, you have some apps in here of things that you can do. So if I hover down and go to Wi-Fi, this is where you've got to connect it. So like I can go in here and I can see all the Wi-Fi that's broadcasting. I'm going to go ahead and connect it to my home Wi-Fi. Yeah, so all of the internet's connected. So go back here, go to YouTube. I'm going to connect this to my son's YouTube account. All right. So here's the screen in the back of the 2023 Tesla Model 3. Want to watch some YouTube. The audio should only be coming from this. I have not configured this to connect to the car speakers yet. Some ads. Skip. I love the L322. What I don't love is the brine and the road salt that is put down where I live. So that's the speaker. That's me watching YouTube back here. That's pretty dang awesome. Okay. So I love it.